Queencast ladies in the house.
Hola, Smudgy.
Hello, Smudgy.
Oh my God. Hola, Smudgy. What's that all about?
I thought it was better than hello, Smudgy, because you called me racist, so I went with Spanish.
It's racist to all Spanish people now. So well done. Well done. You've just moved the racist element to a different country.
I am practicing my Spanish because I'm going to Spain soon, so I'm practicing.
Are.
You
Are me and you going too, Jules? Are we doing a Queencast tour?
Yeah, we're part of her luggage, right? We
That's right.
automatically fit, right? That's what I
That's
thought.
what I thought.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she wouldn't possibly leave us at home.
No way! You're not
No.
leaving me in the US. Are you kidding me, Kaza? Come on.
And no, nobody wants to remain in the US. To be
No,
honest.
take me
Deuces.
away, please. I mean, if I'm telling you to shove me into a suitcase, you know things aren't great. So.
Yeah, she's not even dead.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lordy Lord. And we're back for another Hit the Spotlight episode. Oh, exciting.
It's
Feels like it's been a
exciting.
while since we did this, but it hasn't been. It's only been a couple of weeks.
I know, but it does feel like a long time.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Are we out of practice? Do we need to do dee
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
red spreader, yellow spreader, red spreader, yellow spreader.
So who are we talking to in this episode of Hit the Spotlight?
We are talking to somebody who I swear just came out of nowhere on the quiz.
Careful.
Yeah.
Did he wipe it up?
Oh.
Well, we will ask him shortly. We will ask him very
no,
shortly.
we won't. No, we won't, ladies. Jesus.
Smudge will.
Yeah.
We are talking to Adam Craves today.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
very excited. And I would like to tell you both a little bit about him, if that's okay with you.
I would love that.
Hit
All
us
right.
with it. I am bent
right.
over.
So nice. So Adam is a voice actor who cares deeply about his work and how it lands with the listener. He's passionate about creating audios that feel authentic and intentional, and believes in the power of storytelling to spark connection. He's also an advocate for open communication in the bedroom, and he wants to help men feel more confident expressing their emotions.
I love him
Aw.
already.
I know, absolutely love him already.
He sounds way too sweet for me to interview him.
Well, we'll see what we can do to him during the interview and how he'll end
shall
up.
we?
What was that? Red spreader, yellow spreader,
Red spreader,
right?
yellow spreader, red spreader, yellow spreader. So, Adam Craves. I genuinely had heard of him in the last sort of couple of months. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to know him because we literally know not that much about him.
He's very mysterious because we do our homework here at Quincast.
Oh, yes.
We do.
And we're good researchers, and he was tough to find stuff on. So I'm interested to interview him just to learn more because, we say he's new on the scene. Maybe he's not. Maybe he was producing audios elsewhere in some secret lair.
Ooh, lair.
Ooh, all right.
He's got way more interesting in the last 3 seconds. And also, when we say we investigate, we are doing it for podcast purposes. We do not advocate or promote any deep diving of any creator in this space or anywhere else. Thank you. Shall we get him in?
Yeah, let's bring Adam in, shall we?
So, Adam, welcome to the Quincast studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, I don't know if you've listened to any of our episodes. We're not judging, but we are, if you haven't. But we like to start off all of our interviews and chats with a little game just to warm us all up. So I'm just going to tell you what the game is, and then we're going to ask for your consent to play because we're all about consent here.
Yes, I learned that. Very quickly once I started submitting. To Quinn. I would submit something and they're like, well, you need to make sure that she says yes. So
All about consent.
There you go.
Well, some of us are. So the game is called Craves List.
Oh, lovely.
And we are going to give you 2 clues to decide what type of craving we are describing.
Okay.
Do we have, Adam Craves, your consent to play Craves List?
Yes.
Excellent. So,
Okay, here is round 1. Again, I'm going to give you 3 clues, and then you guess what the craving is. Clue number 1. It's smooth, rich, and melts at body temperature.
Mm.
Clue number 2. Ancient Aztecs used it as currency.
Mm.
And clue number 3. It's often a go-to after heartbreak.
Mm. Well, let's see. Ancient Aztecs used it as currency. I would say chocolate. but it would also be cacao, which they probably use more than chocolate.
Oh, look at this fancy man.
Level up right there. Yes.
Okay, bonus point. Bonus point.
Yeah, bonus point.
Now I'm curious, Adam. What's your go-to chocolate craving?
Dark chocolate. I like 70% hot chocolate. I do like hot cocoa. Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm just like want something like at night, I love popcorn.
Ooh.
I think there's one called Evil something popcorn, which is great. It's just like out of the bag. But like usually like a 70% dark chocolate would just like kind of hit that for me.
So
Yes.
bitter.
He likes a bit of
But not
cacao.
too bitter. Not too bitter
Yeah.
though. It's got just
I
a
like-
little bit of like it's not like 90%.
Okay, round 2. Clue 1, it's invisible but addictive. Clue 2, you might chase it on social media. Clue 3, it feels good until it doesn't.
Oh gosh.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough
Yeah.
one.
Do you all know these? Do you know the
Yeah.
answers?
We have the
Yeah.
answers in front of us.
We
yes.
have the answer
Unfortunately,
key.
I'm playing by myself as usual.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you
You
might
get
see
paid
it.
for that.
I was gonna say like likes, but like
Ooh, that's so close.
attention.
Yes! Ding ding!
Attention.
Shit,
Yeah.
man.
Damn. All right. Fuck.
So
Impressive,
good. I
Adam.
didn't think you were going to get that.
We've underestimated you.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Smudge did. Smudge has underestimated you.
As always.
I knew all along you'd get it.
Yeah, right. God, brown
You were
nose.
always my favorite.
Oh, God. You know we're never going to hear the last of that, Mr. Craves.
That's gonna be the audiogram. I'm gonna clip that.
Audiogram, that's going to be your next tattoo.
Settle down, fucker.
So just a little follow-up on that. What's your favourite way to get attention?
As Adam Craves or in my regular life?
Ooh.
Ooh.
How about both?
I love reading the comments after a story. I love to get like that kind of feedback, whether it's positive or negative. I like to, as you know, toss some humor into my stories occasionally.
Do you?
Mhm.
And and so I love to kind of get the feedback because we'll get into it, but like the way I do my stories are very
Mhm.
specific to me. In my regular life, I do a couple different things. I'm an artist, so I do photography and I do like I say art, which
Mhm.
people tend to like. And then I guess I do other stuff. So that's that's about all I'll say.
And cut.
Fair.
Ready for the next one?
Oh yes, there's more.
right.
Sure.
Clue number 1, it's socially acceptable, but slightly addictive. Clue number 2, morning people swear by it. And clue number 3, without it, you are not human before 10 a.m.
Like coffee.
Yes.
Damn, you got it.
I would not get these.
I was like, morning sex.
Yeah. Or morning sex. Yeah.
See, I
I think
told
that's
you we
more than-
should have left that one in.
See, I'll take morning sex over coffee any day.
I mean,
I
I'd say morning sex is more than slightly addictive, but that's just me. So, little
and you're
follow-up.
addicted to coffee. Mm-hmm.
All right, little follow-up to that then. What is your kind of coffee preference? Like, do you like an espresso shot, an oat latte? What's kind of your go-to?
I don't drink coffee at home typically.
Same.
I don't. I just don't. I enjoy coffee. I love the smell of coffee. It's just not my thing to do in the morning. I have like different things I'll do, and I'll kind of go on like a little thing. So like right now, it's just apple cider vinegar and some like honey, like in like warm water. Especially because I was kind of getting over. I had like laryngitis. I've never had it before. Weird because it's like I did not feel sick at all, but my voice just wasn't gone.
Just
Yeah.
wasn't there.
And then I love tea. Like I
Oh.
like tea a lot.
Same.
We will
I'll make-
take you as
I'll make a
being
tea.
British now. Yes.
And then I'll make like a smoothie in the morning. But like if I'm out, like at work or something, I will have coffee sometimes at work. They sometimes have coffee.
And how do you take your coffee?
How do I take my coffee? Yes.
Yes.
I like my coffee.
Like I like my women.
Go ahead.
I was waiting for that.
Sorry.
I like no sugar. I usually take it just with like a little bit of milk or like a little bit of almond milk or just something like that. I like the taste of coffee, so I don't really put sugar in anything.
I always think people that don't have sugar in their coffee, they're just like so grown up. I look up to them. I can't be that person, but I look up to them.
Growing up, all we had in my house was like sugared cereal, and all the kids would come over to my house because they had like healthy cereal, and they like, can we have some Fruit Loops and Nesquik, everything.
All right, round 4. Just 2 more to go.
Okay.
Clue number 1, you can't buy it or fake it. Clue number 2, it makes your brain produce oxytocin. Clue number 3, it's what every rom-com is built on.
Or get
Well, I want to see that rom-com with you,
Hey,
Grant.
I'm in it. Yep. Ding, ding, ding. No.
That's what they've been missing. I would say Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh, yes.
And you dropped a Beatles song. I mean, the king is going to hear about this. We're going to adopt you.
And he can carry a tune.
Look at that.
So, Adam, what's one thing that makes you feel loved?
You're talking about like my 5, what are the 5 love languages? I think I like acts of service. I mean, I like them all. I was actually having this conversation with a friend. It's like they're all something, but like the acts of service make me feel loved. Quality time makes me feel loved. Like acknowledgement of like wanting to hang with me or wanting to be with me or like returning my text messages.
Yeah, that's very basic, but yeah.
Seriously, it's like how many times like have our friends, I know my close friends obviously, but there's like, we have those peripheral friends which we think are friends and then we don't hear back from them when you're like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, oh, okay. Well. But anyway, it makes me feel like heard. So,
nice.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right, final round, Adam, and I know I can sense the sadness already that it's over, but one more to go. Here we go. Clue 1, it shows up after midnight. Clue 2, you convince yourself it's harmless fun. Clue 3, it can lead to a good time.
It shows up after midnight, can lead to a good time. Huh, that's a good one. It's not morning wood.
You would need evening wood.
True, evening wood. It can lead to a good time. It shows up after midnight.
And many a rap song has spoken about it.
Asking the wrong person. Oh, really?
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. is what I've heard about it.
Oh man, I'm not gonna get this because I'm not that hip.
Heard that.
Never heard that.
No.
Okay, another clue. It has something to do with a bottom.
With like a butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millions of your pod
Ring,
listeners
ring.
are like,
Ring, ring. Hello,
Yes.
it's the bottom calling.
oh God, what are they called? I used to do them.
The British call it the
Spell it out.
B.
A booty call.
Jesus,
So we'll edit that so it sounds like you
God.
got it right away. Don't you worry.
Totally. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not. I'm humble. I can admit when I don't know something.
Genuinely, I fought for that harder than I fought for most of the orgasms in my life.
I've never done that before, so I don't even. So it's just not in my lexicon.
I don't believe you for a second.
Me
Or
either.
I do it all the
I'm
time.
Like, aw, how sweet.
Jules, you're so naive.
And I'm
Bless.
like, aw, that's sweet.
Bless.
And the final follow-up question for that is,
Yes.
other than sex, what's the one thing that you would leave your sofa for after midnight?
I mean, well, the obvious is to go to the bathroom.
Fair.
Probably because my cat is like whining for food and I forgot to feed him.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
It's
Very
nothing interesting. I could tell you.
Well, it's the call of the pussy, so that's interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
God, he's such a bitch. Let me tell you, bitch.
Oh, thank you so much for playing our game, Adam.
Yeah, thank you. That was
That was
fun.
a good sport.
You did really well. too.
I'm really impressed, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about these. Damn.
See, I told you they
Damn.
were easy. I'm learning. to
No,
make
they
it
weren't.
easy.
He's just smart. Don't discredit his brilliance.
Okay, he's smart.
Saying
All
they're
right.
easy.
So you're feeling all nice and warm now, Adam?
Yeah, that was great. That was a great
Okay.
warm up. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Now we get into the interrogation.
Where were you the night of the
Done.
4th?
Exactly.
May the
I
force
was
be
on a
with
booty call. I don't know.
you. I was at a booty call drinking coffee and falling in
Covered in
love.
mel- covered in melted chocolate.
All right, so we're going to start with probably an obvious question, but we are truly, genuinely curious. What inspired you to explore sensual storytelling?
Yeah,
Sure.
where did you come from?
Well, as we were talking like a little bit before we had started, I had a friend who was a subscriber to Quinn,
Mhm.
and we were just chatting one day, and she was talking about the stuff that she was listening to, and I was inquiring about it. I had not heard of the app,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I listened to a couple, and I was like, "Oh, there's some good stuff, and no, not so good stuff." And I was like, "I think I could, I have participated in real life, like." With a partner or a girlfriend or something, and having a dialogue like that. And I enjoyed it very much. And so I was like, I wonder if I could do this. And she was talking and explaining like who she liked and what was interesting. And I was like, okay. And so I gave it some thought, and then I kind of just put it away. And then I guess like, I don't know, maybe a month or two later, for some reason it was on my mind, asked her about it. And she's like, yeah. So I looked into like how you audition. And, I had a microphone for other stuff that I do. And I just made a little audio, and I like did like 3 parts. Like my initial audition was the first audio that I released was like the therapist one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that was like
Oh,
the
yes.
first.
Oh,
What's
yes.
strange is that like
Oh,
I kind of forget why we're here. And, like,
Yeah. Oh, you see,
Like,
that's our
I'm
professionalism.
glad.
it's just us having a conversation. I'm like, oh right,
Exactly.
you've actually listened to these.
Yes.
So yeah, I did something like that. I did like the one that you hear on Quinn is different. I had to re-record it and create the story. But I did sort of something like that. They give you, like, when you submit something, they give you, it's like make a little short story or something, and they give you some ideas or whatever. And so I just did like 3 sections. So I like did a little section in the introduction, and then like a middle, and then like sort of like the end. And then they reached out and they're like, hey, yeah, we think we like this, and we'd like to offer you a chance to give it a try.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I had, when you're younger, you're like, what's your porn name?
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, and so Adam Craves was always like something I had created that a long time ago, but I never did anything with it. It was just like something I was like, what is my name going to be?
So that's where it came from, when you were like growing up and you had to choose your porn
Porn
name.
Porn
name.
name.
Yeah.
So people from your past might stumble onto the app and go, Adam Craves. Wait a minute.
I remember that guy in math class.
Yeah. He really did go into porn.
I wonder what it. Well, so let me just set the record straight here. So that was a big deal for me because, like, I mean, obviously I have, and it'd be interesting to talk about this, but like, I'll say at my age, what's interesting about porn is like it's changed dramatically from like when
Yeah.
I was younger, hunting for it, obviously, till now where it's everywhere. I don't consider what I do porn though, because I, unlike when I had talked, with a partner or something like that, when I was actually engaging in that, like I'm literally like in my booth here doing creating an audio. I'm not doing anything on my end. I initially tried to do that. I got so distracted and I couldn't think of words, and it wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun.
It was a mediocre at best. And so, yeah, because I make notes on my computer. I improv all my stuff except for the last 2 that I done. And so I'll usually like make a couple notes just so I can kind of stay within the story. It's different than like, an OnlyFans or something, because I'm not participating in it.
No,
It's just for the listener, and it's I'm acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you listened to those couple of audios, could you say which one you listened to? Do you remember who it was?
No.
It's okay.
That was a very dramatic pause that you.
I know, very.
I think I listened to Naudio first because that's like the go-to, I guess.
Yes.
Right.
He's
Yes,
like
Naudio's the go-to.
the dude.
Yeah.
And then I listened to, and Naudio was great. I'm not going to put
Breathiness.
anybody down. I just
No.
had a different take on what I could do. I think everybody has their own style, which is great.
Yeah.
And every listener has what they like, which is great.
Mhm.
And I thought that I could just provide a unique perspective on it, I think.
And you really do. That was going to be one of my comments, is like, and it makes sense now that you say most of yours are improvised,
Yes.
because it does feel very, very kind of authentic, real, not manufactured, not curated.
Yes.
That, yeah, it's a little like, it's fun and playful. And so it makes sense now with the improvising that. So it comes across as, not so packaged, which is lovely.
Yeah, when Quinn offers, I don't know if this is like their standard, but they say, we can do 4 a month.
Yeah.
At first you're like, yeah, it's no problem. And then it's like, wait, what am I going to think of 4 different stories like every month?
lot.
The first 6 that I did, and this was not intentional, this was just sort of how it happened, but the first 6 that I did all became like part of this Adam verse. But that was not, I had no idea that was going to happen. Like the first one was the therapist, and the second one was the roommate. And I thought it would be fun if there was some kind of connection between them, like some kind of connection. And then the third one I did, I think, was the Adam and the therapist. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe the roommates are seeing these therapists. Female roommate goes to see her male therapist, and she's talking about, I don't know. It's a little convoluted if you listen to it, because I didn't create it as a whole thing. So like you kind of, there's probably things that don't line up. But by the like 6-1, Quinn was like, so are you only gonna do this, or are you gonna do something like else? And I was like, I don't know how this works. And so then I just started to make like one-offs, and at some point, I'm sure those stories will come back they've been like percolating in my mind. But yeah, and then I just started doing one-offs, and I was like, okay, well, what am I doing? And so then I just started to create. And what's nice is like the way that I do it, I think I create a world where kind of anything can happen depending on like what I set up. They were getting very meta, and I think that was what Quinn was like, okay, like so the storyteller is listening, but then you're talking to the story. Like in the roommate one, Adam comments on the narrator at one point, and they have like a back and forth. I thought that was hilarious, but they were like, that's weird.
I love meta.
Yeah, that's probably far too clever for women, you know, or men that just want to wank, really.
Right. Well, there's got to be a balance, you know. I guess there has to be a balance. So finding that balance is interesting, but also like it's got to entertain me. Like I have to enjoy doing it.
So, I mean, the Adamverse part of it, was that something you came up with, or did you have these audios somewhere else before and they were transferred to Quinn?
No, I made them specifically for Quinn.
Okay, for Quinn. How long did it take Quinn to get back to you? Because all of a sudden we started seeing these videos from Quinn, you know, using your audios, and next thing we know, you're 21 audios in and you have 350,000 plays. You just came out of nowhere, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. I
came in like a wrecking ball.
You know, I'm older than 30, I'd say. So I've lived some life. I've had experience like talking in front of people. I've had experience like engaging and yeah, that's all I'll say. So I don't know. I did what I thought would be interesting and arousing and hot. And I was listening to or reading the comments and sort of gauging what people found hot or what people found interesting. And I was finding my own voice because having not done this before, like it's an experiment in what am I comfortable with and what am I good at and what do I have to learn. Early on, I was doing like a lot of like mouth, like, you know, like pretending I was like going down on someone. And a couple of people were like, ew, that's disgusting. Like that's, I don't want to hear that. And I'm sure there were people who liked it, but it's like, okay. And so what I started to do more of was try to add more words and description. But like one thing I don't do a lot of is sound effects. Like I feel like, you know, I'm not spending like hours producing this. Like the longest ones I've spent are the last two that I did, which were the Halloween ones, because those are completely like a narrative version, and I've added some sound effects and stuff. And those I have to like figure out the story and all that. I like the spontaneity of it because, and that was one of the things that I really pulled out of listening to the other audios. Like I can tell when something is being read versus being created. And for me, the kind of things that when I would watch something, for instance, if I would watch porn or something, like I preferred something that felt more spontaneous and in the moment than less produced. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just a personal preference for me. And so it also gave me the leeway to like be funny or like when something popped up in my mind to like throw it out there. And like, you know, a couple of mine are all over the place. Like the one in the office that I'm like trying to do an interview and like my partner comes in, is under the desk. Like that was just making me crack up because I just thought it would be a funny, like a funny scenario. And like the cop one I thought was also like that because it was like ridiculous. It was just so.
The cop one is so silly. I love it.
So fun. Oh, I love the fun.
So
I think the audience is split between, you know, sound effects anyway. Some people like them, some people like a little bit, some people like loads. You know, there are some seriously dodgy effects going out there, and there's some seriously incredibly good sound effects going out there. But it's very subjective. So I like both. I like a little bit of SFX and I like zero because I like to be able to immerse myself, and sometimes the sound effect takes me away from the scene.
But kind of to get to your question, just so you know, like I really did not know the world of erotica. I was not familiar with audio erotica too much. I just learned this thing called BookTok. I don't know. I'm not in this world at all. And so it's really been interesting engaging because I started a TikTok and an Instagram so I could actually engage with my listeners and like get feedback and stuff. And so this is a world I'm just not familiar with. Like it's really, I feel very lucky that people have taken to it and enjoyed like what I've created, but it wasn't like I came from some other world and that I was going to be like, oh, now I'm going to take my talents and bring it over here. It was, this is all very new for me. And so I'm kind of figuring myself out as we go.
The new person on the block, your intimacy therapist at this time of recording has 75,500 plays for a first audio. Do you realize how good that is?
I think that, you know, it's interesting because I can see the numbers and I think that, you know, they they marketed me as like a new audio person.
Mhm.
So I think that definitely helped. But I've seen like the numbers kind of go down over the course. And I was talking to somebody who was saying, it's you can see like what people like. Daddy is Sleeping got a big bump there because obviously that's like super hot. But and
Super.
I'll go back to that kind of stuff, but it's also like the numbers are important, obviously, because I would like to get more views and what now that they're giving out roses, you can get like a little bit more, because let's not forget, like but it also like I get, money, I get paid
It's a job.
to do it. It's a job. It's nice to have that extra income. And again, it's like a balance of like what I like and what I want to provide for the listener, and finding that balance of what's going on. So with the two that I did, the Halloween ones, like I don't think the views are as high because it's not my normal stuff. There's a lot of story involved. And obviously I get to like the hot parts at the end. There's a lot more story there. And I don't know if everyone, wants to listen to 30 minutes of story when they're just like, I just want to get off right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, there's so many audios. Like people, listeners have their playlists, right? So it's like guaranteed finisher playlist is going to be a quick little wank session. There's going to be like story sessions. There's going to be like, so, there's room for everything.
Yeah.
What is what? And I don't even know this, but is there a minimum length of time?
We believe 7 minutes. I believe 7 minutes.
Oh gosh, I'm like multiplying that by 5.
Yeah, but
okay.
that's rare. I mean, I think they average around 18 to 20, I would say.
As soon as I see something that says 48 minutes, I'm like, scroll it to the big cells.
Yeah.
Depends on the creator. Some of them have great storytelling.
Yeah, totally depends on the creator for me.
Yeah.
And you're saying about your numbers, Adam, but I think what also needs to be taken into consideration is if, somebody else drops something that's a very popular, daddy, dom, so they're very popular stuff. There's certain, tropes and kinks that are more popular than others. So if somebody or 2 or 3 others creators drop that type of content and you're dropping a story content, yours is a smaller pocket of the audience than some of it. So I don't think it's a judgment or a marking of what you've produced. It's just the timing. It's just a timing thing sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
but that's also what's cool about this is that you have, I mean, I can't imagine like producing one a week, for a month is going to be incredibly challenging, but it is also like kind of a cool way to test different things, right? So if one week it doesn't hit as well as you had hoped, there's always next week, and you get to just read the feedback and adjust.
Especially when you say like certain words that people don't love.
Such as what? Jinx.
I didn't know so I had to go back and be like, okay, there's certain things that you say when you're like in the moment, then you walk out of that and you're like, did that turn me on for a second? That was weird.
I think I know the one you're on about.
I want him to say it.
I'm not going to say it, but I know what word.
I don't.
But see, I thought there were 2 different ones, because once I called like a clitoris like a little cock, and people kind of freaked out about that.
See, I think that's funny.
And then I said,
I remember that. Yeah, I've heard that.
and I said pee hole, and also that didn't go over too well. Although some people back me up,
That's a bundle of nerves.
And I challenge anyone to be like super horny, and like, when you're down there, you got to see everything. So.
Yeah, I don't know the people do it for me.
Fun though, you got to add the fun to it.
Certain things, I don't like walk around thinking about that in real life. Like if I was, in a state of arousal, you're much more open to like those kinds of. I shouldn't say you. I'll say I am much more open to that kind of like dialogue.
Oh yeah, I mean there's certain dialogue that I wouldn't use in an office,
like pee hole.
Like pee hole.
Right. Yeah, but like I said,
maybe you would use that in your office. Who knows?
You don't jump right to the pee hole. You have to. Like,
no, you don't. And you still couldn't beat the ultimate for me. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, and if somebody out there likes it, it's your yum. I'm not yucking it at all. But bundle of nerves for a clitoris. Yeah.
So wait, what are you saying? You're saying do or do not say that?
Do not say bundle of nerves.
Don't say it. No, don't say bundle of nerves.
Please.
No.
Did I say that?
No,
you didn't.
That doesn't feel like something that would come out of my mouth.
Only what would go in. No, I'm joking. See what I did? I can't help it. I just can't help it. Honestly, I have no brain to mouth filter. I'm sorry.
Well, so along those same lines, Adam, what do you hope your listeners get out of your audios? Like, what's your intention behind them? And
well, it's interesting. I was thinking about this. So initially, I just wanted them to be like turned on and get pleasure and enjoy the audio. And then I wanted them to just I wanted them to laugh and have fun with it too. But what's been interesting is I've gotten some feedback from people, and it's actually helped them in their sex life, and that is really, really important for me. I've always been a very strong proponent of like communicating the bedroom, both men and women. And I know obviously more women are self-identifying, would say, like listen to my stories like that. But I've had feedback from people who said, I have been able to communicate with my partner in a way that I haven't been able to do that before. It's
Wow.
that it dawned on me that like maybe some of what I'm doing can be helpful in that way, and like how I'm communicating and how I'm using my words. Because I take for granted I am able to communicate those things, and it doesn't embarrass me to like communicate those kinds of needs. And I know that that's not universal, especially depending on like how you grew up or what sort of environment you grew up in or what sort of dogma you grew up in. It's always been interesting to me. So like sexuality in general has always been interesting to me, and how from a larger perspective, I'd say hypocrisy of at least the country that I live in about you shouldn't say certain things or certain ideas or certain beliefs or certain sexualities are not correct or are not acceptable under certain religions or whatever. And that has always pissed me off.
Same.
Because I feel like sexuality is a very personal and fluid world. And it's such a wonderful thing to be able to see someone who is comfortable in their sexuality living their own life. I don't even mean like in the bedroom. I just mean like living who they want to be. And so I think that with the repression, and it's a lot of self-repression too, there's a lot of guilt and shame that comes along with sexuality.
Yes.
And that manifests itself in people trying to take over the world, and in certain ways. And not only like, obviously big things like that, but just in our own world. Like we all know people who are probably sexually repressed in some way. I'm not saying that listening to my audios will save that, but I do believe that being able to communicate with yourself in an honest way is incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of women and men, but I think a lot of women might not be fulfilling their innate sexual needs because they cater to their partner and they're afraid to speak up in the bedroom. And I think that is really important to like get in touch with that.
Yeah.
So if my audios can help in that way, I love that. I had one person reach out and say the opposite. Instead of being able to communicate with her partner in a positive way, it actually made her realize that this was not the right relationship for her.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And she wrote me maybe a month ago and told me that. And then she gave me an update and she said that she had left her partner and she felt great about herself, and she just felt very empowered. So, and I don't know exactly, because I'm not like in my audio saying like,
No.
there's no like subliminal,
messages.
Yeah, the director's cut has that in it.
But, and I didn't inquire with her exactly like what it was about my audience that did that, but it doesn't necessarily matter because I don't want that to necessarily influence like how I make what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What matters is that they're able to communicate. And the other side of that, because I'm not speaking for women, I'm just saying like what I'm getting as a response. The other side of that is there is a massive problem with like the ability of men to like express their feelings and the ability of men to truly like be in touch with their feelings. When you take like that male toxicity culture and you add the availability of easy porn to that, and then like younger men are learning how to have sex and communicate by watching porn.
Yeah.
And the communication in porn, I'd say in a lot of porn, is not super great. And as we know, it's just like as soon as the guy comes, it's over. Mission successful.
There you go.
Yeah.
I tried. I don't always do this. I try to put aftercare in some of my audios, just like a little bit of like denouement. But I know men don't necessarily listen to a lot of my audios, but I have heard from a couple people that when they talk to their male partners, two people let their male partners listen to my audios. And that has helped them communicate a little bit better. I think that like it's really, really important. And I haven't figured out exactly how to do this, like either in my normal life or within this, but like there is a severe epidemic of male toxicity. Because men have to be able to own their masculinity. It's a very important energy. And women have a masculine energy too. It's like to be able to own your femininity as a man and also your masculinity and understand like what it actually means to be masculine. It doesn't mean to be a complete asshole where you have no feeling and no empathy. It means that you can be a provider, you can be a sustainer, you can have powerful male energy, but you don't have to be oblivious to everything else around you and just be like an island unto yourself where you can't connect.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons that I'm in this men's group is because these are other guys who have, families or lives who are dealing with stuff who aren't necessarily comfortable talking to their male friends about things, and within their life because they're like, well, maybe I'll be shamed if I say like I was crying the other day or something made me upset, or I was feeling very emotional towards this. I don't know how to like, process that emotion. I know it's weird to be like talking about it like when you're like, yeah, but you do like erotic audios, but there's something in it for me. about communicating. And if men, I think, can communicate better in the bedroom and be in touch with their own sexuality, I think we would honestly be in a better place. Because it's very individual. It starts very individually, you know, and then it manifests itself in society.
When did it start with you, Adam? Are you saying that you know young boys, they're very influenced by porn, etc., and how to communicate with, you know, a partner? When did that realization hit you growing up?
I think I was always comfortable talking about. So in my, you know, my real life, I was introduced to porn very early on, because back when I was growing up, you had porn magazines and you had VHS, and you had to hunt for these. You had to hunt these things down. You know, which is one of the things that's like sucks for like any, you know, youth growing up now, is that you don't realize how easy it is, you know, and there's so much out there, obviously, and like trying to put up barriers and protect children from seeing stuff they shouldn't see is very difficult. You know, it's a whole other conversation. But obviously, as you're growing through puberty, like you're going to be seeing things, you're going to be learning about things. And so where do you learn about that stuff? And, you know, when I was growing up and going through that, obviously, like all that, you know, we were talking about stuff. But I remember two very specific things. My mom worked at a place that was like, she worked at like a pharmacy. And behind the farm, it was like a drugstore pharmacy. So like, and I would go to work with her sometimes. And I remember one time I went into the bathroom in the back, you know, not the public, but like the back. And someone who had worked there left a magazine out. And it was like a Penthouse or a Hustler. And I was way too young to be seeing this. And so I saw this stuff, and obviously like it hit something in my brain, but I really gravitated towards like the stories, like the Penthouse Forum or whatever they were. And I remember like I would rip them out and I would take them home. I was like learning to read, like, you know, I was a little older, but like, you know, I'm reading like erotica. And so like the story itself always stuck with me. And so like when I was developing, obviously I would like, you know, I saw porn and stuff, but like there was something about the stories and the words that I just found really interesting. And then the other thing that, looking back on something in terms of like nostalgia, is like when you're growing up like in the 80s or 90s and you had to find porn, that was an adventure. You know, you'd be like, hey, you know, Johnny, can I come over and hang out? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then like you start like hunting in like the parent's house for like, I know his dad's got porn around here somewhere. You're like,
where's the drawer?
Quietly opening drawers. Yeah, you know, and you find something and you're like, ha, I've got it. And then maybe you steal it. You know, the dad's not gonna be like, what happened to my porn, little Johnny?
Where's my porn?
But, you know, that was like a big thing. And then you take it into school and you'd hold it up like, you know, Andrew, what was the guy's name in 16 Candles when he held up the panties?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, don't do that if you're listening to it. But anyway, but there's something like adventurous about that and nostalgic. Instead of just being like, I'm going to turn my computer on and hit this and just like, boom, you know, it's just.
You're right. It's the journey.
And that's part of it. And it's the journey, but it's also like, I mean, those were coveted. You know, you had like a couple that you would watch hundreds of times. But in terms of like what it does to, I don't know the answer. I don't know what it does to the youth today to see as much as they're seeing. I imagine it's not awesome. It's not great. And now that like OpenAI is opening, they just announced that like they're going to have, you know, ChatGPT, OpenAI owns ChatGPT, and they just announced that they're going to add erotica to the platform now. And so, you know, what's really scary is the idea of having, you know, these characters, these AI characters that anyone, I mean, obviously adults, but underage can get access to. It's a really crazy world that we're stepping into.
Yeah, it's tough. And I feel like, you know, I hate to say the youth, but I'm talking about teenagers, young adult, you know, like early 20s. I feel like they're already so desensitized. You know, if they have I don't know, they log into a porn site and they have to wait like 10 seconds for it to load, it's like a huge deal because everyone's so used to now the instant gratification. I can get porn, you know, wherever I want, whenever I want.
And it's not just like, I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh, you have to wait, but it's also like, how does that affect interpersonal communication and interpersonal relationships? So that's really the end result of everything. You know, it's like, yeah, we have access to all this stuff, and like watching a 2.5-hour movie is like torture, but how is it going to affect the interpersonal communication? I mean, like I've got a buddy who's a teacher, and he was saying like the difference between pre-pandemic and post-pandemic for his students is immense. And anybody that was like in a bubble and had the ability to still create, especially when you're like in a middle school age, to create interpersonal relationships, the kids that weren't are really lacking in their ability to communicate.
I think for a long time, you know, porn has had not the greatest impact on kids, and particularly young men, as you're saying, that they're just what they're conditioned to believe of how relationships work and the dynamic between them and the communication or lack thereof. It just reinforces that thinking that they are deserving of on-demand pleasure.
Yeah.
Just so not the case. And so I think, to circle all the way back to what you were saying, Adam, about the impact of the work that you're doing, which I know, and we say this to a lot of creators when they come on, that on the surface it can seem like you're just creating audio erotica and to turn people on, get them off, whatever. But as you're hearing from your listeners, it's so much more than that. At least for women, we hear it all the time. It's the case for us that it is really powerful work that is giving us language that was not provided to us elsewhere, to even not only give us the language to communicate what we want, but to even learn what it is we like and want.
Exactly.
Listening to an audio going, oh my God, that's a little cooch tingle. I didn't know that was going to do that for me.
Yeah.
So it's like you get to learn stuff that so it's a very impactful medium.
Like massively, yeah.
I had someone sent me a message yesterday, and it was all it said was like, listen. I forgot which one they listened to, but it was more of like a dom from my perspective. And I think I start with like, get the fuck on your knees. And they wrote to me, they're like, well, learn something new. And I just inquired, I was like, what, she told me, and she said, I work in I'm an A-type personality, and I have to be in control of everything in the field that I work in. And she said, and I never knew this about myself. I don't know if she has a partner or not, or she's married or whatever, but like, it just might not be a dynamic between them that she would even think about doing. But that was something that opened up for her inside. Maybe she can explore with her partner, or
you can honestly say I didn't come out as kinky until I was 50. And it was because of Quinn and the communities. It wasn't the done thing. And so I've heard from hundreds of women in these AE communities who have found their enjoyment of sex or something new they didn't know about themselves, irrelevant of whether they're sharing it with a partner. They just found something about their own pleasure and their own desire that they're now able to talk about without fear of judgment, persecution, or ridicule.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've heard most from our listeners, from if you listen to any sort of audio erotica platform, is people are starting to be like, I deserve this pleasure. I never thought of it this way, but this is something I want, and it's okay for me to want it without feeling that shame or feel that like, oh, is this okay? That's the biggest thing with listeners that I've heard in the last year.
Completely agree. Yeah. And that's the mentality that I hope everyone can have. Because it just makes, as soon as you start repressing things, the rest of your life just starts to, in subtle ways, show that.
Yeah. So if any VA sits in front of us and says that they're not impacting women positively or men positively, then I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up, because I can line up 200 women right now that will tell you differently.
I mean, even circling back, Adam, to what you said about the person who messaged you about how she ended up leaving her relationship. I mean, that is huge, because of listening to these things, she was able to actually say, I deserve more than what I have right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah. One of the other things I'm trying to figure out doing like personal stuff, because I've had some people ask if I can like record personal stuff for them. And so I'm trying to figure out like how to do that just monetarily and whatever. What's interesting is I haven't had anyone reach out and say like, can I have like a personal erotic sexual audio? I've had 3 people reach out and say, can you give me like an affirmations audio? And tell me that I'm a good person. Tell me that I'm worthy and deserving. And it's just like, on one hand, it breaks my heart because I can't imagine this world that they're living in. And like that they just don't get that at all. And they need it desperately, but they're not getting it from either their family or relationships. So that was interesting.
Well, I'll order an audio and it will be get on your fucking knees is what it's going to be.
That would be Smudge's audio.
Cameo offers that, right?
Does now.
Right.
Does now.
So to ask you a question, what do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned about women since doing it?
About women, that they're fucking kinky.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Every time.
Oh my God, what?
Every time I was like, I don't know, this might be too much. We were like, more.
Even if we didn't know we were, then
Exactly.
That they are just as kinky, if not honestly kinkier than men, because I feel like women are more in touch with, even though we're talking about like women realizing their sexuality, I just feel like they're more willing to like open themselves up to new experiences like that.
Do you realize how long we've been repressed?
Yeah.
We have volcanoes of repression that we need to fire out.
It wants to blow.
Yeah. And it's
literally.
So and also just like what they're into. I never really heard the word feral too much, but it's being, tossed around quite a lot.
Oh, that's my middle name.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting to get that feedback and to see like what it is that really gets someone going.
Yeah, that's the power of this work, is that it gives us permission to And especially in these communities that the creators then can create, and to speak with other women and be like, oh my God, like I'm not a weirdo, you too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we're learning what we like, or we're learning to feel safe voicing what we like through these audios. So
And to love your body too. Like one of the things I started to do just to really pay attention to like the female anatomy and like talk about different parts and pay attention, because again, it's like if you watch porn, you won't really know what to do when you're down there. So if you're like going down on someone, like what do you do? And like for a person who isn't super comfortable with the female anatomy, it can be very overwhelming. And like like find the clitoris, pin the tail on the clitoris. It's like
I'd probably enjoy that, but most women probably wouldn't.
Which is the next title of my next audio.
Yeah, perfect. Oh my God, if genuinely,
oh my God, please make that your next audio.
Please.
It's fantastic.
I mean, we have a sticker that says "locate the clitoris." So
Yeah, Quinn
yeah.
sticker.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like, and once you get there, what the fuck do you do with it? It's like, so I try, and I'm not saying that like I never took a class on this, but in my own experience, I have learned certain things, and I think I try to describe that in my audios. I try to make person who's listening really be able to know what's going on, as opposed to just say, I'm going down on you now.
Yeah.
I try to make it more visceral in a way.
one of the male feedback that we get is that, how do you know what you're doing wrong if nobody tells you? But I think women for a long time didn't dare say that, can you just move a little bit to the left, or no, keep doing what you do. We were very afraid to do that. Now, with the confidence, the newfound confidence that we're developing, we're now able to guide and instruct and tell. And I think men now being able to accept that as not being you're rubbish.
A criticism.
Right.
And listen. So how do you feel that the audio erotica world helps you as a man do that?
Well, let's see. Well, one, I want to just talk to what you just said there. Like the ability for someone to take criticism as a positive thing, I think it can be difficult, because I think you can be very reactionary to like feeling insecure about what you're doing and then being told to do something else and then thinking that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Men carry a lot of shame. For me, like part of it is obviously trying to turn on a woman, but like if a man were to listen, or if a woman were to let a man listen to me, I'm very specific in what I'm saying. And I try to hint at like, listening to her breathing is really important. Like just in real life, like if I was to give a class on this, it's like, listen to how she's breathing. You can tell if you're doing something right by listening how she's breathing. Change the technique, change, where you're touching, change like the curvature of your tongue, change how hard or how soft you're doing something, because it's a give and take. Like that's, even if it's a dom sub sort of thing, it's still a give and take. Everything's a give and take. And so you have to, and it's okay to say like, do you enjoy this? Is this good? What do you like? Especially when you're getting into other, and I'll answer your question soon, but especially if you're getting into like other things. So like anal sex, right? That's not something I learned the hard way. That's not something you should just jump into.
If you jump into it, there is a problem.
I will never include that in one of my stories. It was horrible.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk about it, right? It's okay to like say like, hey, if you're into it and you guys are like talking about it, like, let's do that tonight. I think that there's this like shame in planning and like shame in like talking about something. It's almost like there's this belief that like we can talk about sex in the moment, but we're not going to talk about it before, because that like ruins the moment or anything. But it's like both with like threesomes, multiple people, and with like stuff like anal sex, like having a conversation before makes the experience so much better.
Yeah.
Like I have had a couple in my life. I'm not like a crazy threesome person, but like it was always better when it wasn't just like, oh, let's just see how much we can drink and then maybe this will happen. And, as opposed to just like, hey, this is what we're all interested in this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And like, let's make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody's comfortable. Because I can tell you like how many times an occurrence like that happened. And it was like going into it, everybody felt okay. And then one person suddenly doesn't feel okay. But they don't know how to say no. Or you want to have anal sex, but you like don't talk about it. So the person is afraid to like is douching the right word, or like just cleaning themselves.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you're covered in shit. It's like, what, because it can, if you're into that, it can be a really wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hoping in terms of like anyone is it's like it's okay to talk about stuff beforehand. It's okay to talk about it when you're not horny.
Yeah.
To get, to make it all better on the other side. In answer to your question, Smudge, tell me again what the question was.
Oh my God. You see, all I can think of is backdoor action now. Sorry.
Backdoor
and how many partners I've had who have accidentally knocked on us, slipped in, and it's like,
Mhm.
where you going? And it's like, oh well, I'm in now. It's like, yeah, but you
Yeah,
didn't
no.
There's no turning back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just like to what you were saying, Adam. It's interesting to think about talking about something in advance as foreplay in and of itself. It's like, you can't talk about it until you're in the heat of the moment, but because it does feel strange to like, oh, you can't just talk about it unless you're like kind of doing it. But you're right, that could be its own foreplay of like anticipating what's to come and preparing accordingly, whether it's through
Yes.
communication or enemas.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, yeah, exactly. If it's not something that's automatically erotic, like douching or enemas or whatever, there can be like this yuck factor to it.
Mhm.
But it's always better to talk about that kind of yuck than the actual yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like maybe even just like we're saying, like changing just the way you're talking about it. Cause I've known a lot of people in relationships will be like, oh God, I don't want to plan out sex. I just want to have it. So if you're
Yeah.
thinking about it like that, of course you're going to go into it in a negative way. But if you change your mindset with it and approach it a little bit differently and say, we're going to talk about this so that it's better when we're actually doing it, that can completely change everybody's mindset.
Totally.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with like, not talking about sex and then just doing it. Like there's room
No.
for
Oh
that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's
Of
room for
course.
spontaneity. Yeah.
Oh God, oh my God, yeah.
And so to shift a little bit into like technique of of the audios you create, like what kind of vocal technique, I guess, do you lean toward or use to create intimacy?
I mean, literally, like technically, like distance from the mic. I
Okay.
have my gain turned up
Mhm.
louder so they can pick up like breathing and stuff like that. Yeah, because Quinn has these parameters that you have to hit in terms of loudness and everything like that. So it took a
Okay.
little while to kind of figure out just like technical stuff. So it's all kind of sounds the same when you listen to it. I record in a booth with a microphone and headphones so I can hear basically what the listener's hearing. And I think that those sort of things like the breathing, it's all of the physiological things I think add to it. And like an audio, if I was just doing like I guess a regular audiobook or something, I wouldn't, be breathing and stuff like that. It wouldn't be like ASMR, but there's like a
Right.
little bit more ASMR involved.
Yeah.
But I will also, I'll back away if I need to and I'll
Yeah.
get close or whatever. And then just changing my voice. Like if I do more of a submissive, like when I was doing the mommy thing, like I'll raise my voice up a little bit, then I'll
Mhm.
lower it, if I'm doing more dom stuff.
Mm.
How does that go?
And
How does that go?
that's going to cost you.
Not for free there, Smudgy.
Good answer.
30%.
Love it. He knows his worth.
40%.
Oh, smudge.
And that's on repeat.
But it's also me trying to figure it out. I mean, like I was like, am I gonna have like a voice for this? Like the actual tone of my voice,
Mhm.
and like who is Adam? Because like in the first one, Adam was the therapist, and the second one, Adam was just like this hapless, like dude living with a an attractive roommate who was masturbating and happened to get seen. That's the one where they were like, you can't. So this is interesting. So I had to re-record and cut out some stuff in that because for anybody who hasn't heard it, it starts out with like I always refer to like me as the hero, like the person telling the story, the narrator pleasuring himself, fantasizing alone about his roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And then the roommate sees him and then she comes in and stuff happens. And so in his world, he's fantasizing about her. And she is in real life, she was walking around with like a t-shirt and panties. Many a guy, I believe, is having this fantasy about like, and I'm just going to preface this by saying consent, consent, consent.
Mm-hmm.
But in a fantasy world, in one's own personal fantasy world, you're not always consenting. I'm not saying it's RAPE. I'm just saying in this particular case, he was like, she's teasing me. She's she's wearing this around the house, and I bet she wants this kind of thing. Which obviously, like those words are very volatile. They can be very volatile, and so there is a balance within there. And so anyway, I was I said that, and then I got back like, oh no, she's got to consent. I was like, yeah, but it's a fantasy inside a fantasy. But I obviously I like want to make everybody happy, so I took that out, and then I guess there was still some stuff left in, and I still got flack from like some of the people listening. They're like, oh, Quinn allows non-consent now. And I was like, there definitely was not, like if you re-listen to it, like it didn't have not real non-consent in there.
Right.
But it's interesting. That's kind of what I learned. Like there really has to be this balance. And it's like, when do I, for something that's like really dommy, like the get on your fucking knees, it's like, when do I make sure that the listener knows that it's consensual?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I can just kind of come in and be like, hey, it's Adam. Just so you know, here's a fantasy audio. Everyone's consenting. Go.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I can
Disclaimer.
do that as a disclaimer or if it has to be within the world.
In it.
One of the best ways to subtly provide consent in a dominating type audio is to ask that if they know their safe word. That's consent. So you ask the other person, do you know your safe word? Tell me your safe word. And then there's silence, but that's consent.
Good. See, this is a world that I'm not super familiar with. So it's like this. I think maybe what you asked me earlier was like, what have I learned from doing
Yes.
these?
Yeah.
And this is probably the biggest thing. Is like I don't live in the like a BDSM world, and so I've had to learn a lot of this stuff. I knew safe word, but I think it's
Me
important to kind
neither.
of
I
understand.
mean, I'm just all new.
But that's like implied consent there, right? I think that's a really good point, Smudge, by just saying like, let's revisit, what's your safe word? I need to hear you say it. And then that's silence, so there's consent.
Yeah, and saying that a couple times, I think throughout the audio. Like if I was doing like one that was really dommy, I would probably make the listener feel safe.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
just check-ins. I mean, Smudge is really, I mean, I know we're joking about it, but Smudge truly has experiences in a Dom-sub relationship for many years. So she's really kind of like the resident expert with that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, sort of.
I mean, no, you have like in real life experience.
Truly, I've had contractual dom sub relationships and stuff, and I think the fact that the VAs like you learn on the job is great for people with kinks, because is it opening up your world to new experiences as well?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's been more interesting to bring some of the things that I've like created fake life into my real life. So it's definitely opened up like a better communication.
I'm curious, when you were on your on the trip with the guys with the men's group, did you talk about this work that you do?
With one person, I did.
You did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
How did that feel for you to just be sharing that with somebody?
There are 3 people who know what I do. I didn't share the site. I didn't share my name or anything like that.
Yeah.
He thought it was awesome. He's like, yeah, man, lean into that, And we were just, he's an entrepreneur, so he immediately went to like, well, how can we capitalize on this? How can you?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
He was very open to it, and my other friend is thinks it's great too that I'm exploring this. So like my reservations were about like my anonymity and what would happen like if my worlds collided.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
What would that mean for me as a person, my career, my life, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, everyone has to have their boundaries, and it's all choice. Being honest, I'm a demisexual, so I have to connect with somebody to get turned on by them. So it's sometimes the audio world can be slightly harder for me to get into it if it's an anonymous creator, just simply because I don't feel like I know who they are, and I know the whole thing about the fantasy that you can make them be whoever you want them to be. But as a demisexual, it's sometimes really difficult to bond sexually with somebody and to get off who I don't know what they look like.
So define see, these are words that I don't know. What is demisexual?
Oh, so it's literally I need to bond and connect with somebody to be sexually aroused emotionally by them. So my connection becomes visual. My connection with somebody is a visual connection. I'm not saying I don't get turned on by sound, but I get more turned on by sound if I know who the person is.
Yeah, so like an emotional connection, like
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there one, type of audio or kink or trope, etc., that you wouldn't be interested in recording? Is there something that you just go, no, that's not me, that's not who I am?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have homosexual tendencies, so I'm not really into dudes. But what's interesting is like I'm very attracted to femininity. I found, and so like a dude with a vagina, a dude with a pussy versus like a chick with a dick.
So many terms.
Yeah. Don't get angry at me. So, but
No.
like I'm more attracted to the femininity than to I'd say the plumbing.
The plumbing?
Like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very, very attracted to the plumbing, but like
I'm the same. And to be fair, most of the threesomes that I've partook in or watched have always been like 2 guys, 1 girl, and it's just 2 guys with the girl and not with each other.
many, many years ago, I was dating somebody and we had like an open relationship, and we did, a bunch of threesomes and whatever, and like sex parties. And I found for myself, like I wasn't really into the sex parties. I don't like being watched by people who aren't really engaged in the situation.
Yeah.
It just was not my thing. And threesomes are a lot of work, They're if you're trying to make everybody happy, it can be a lot of fun. but it's
Mhm.
it's a lot of work.
So how do you maintain your personal boundaries? Now you're a voice creator and I know you're anonymous, but with your social now coming on social media, how are you looking to present your
Fan base
boundaries and tell
growing.
people what they are?
Yeah, I mean, I will engage with anyone mostly, but I do keep things personal. Like I've had some people were like, "Oh, where do you live?" And I'm like, in
In
the
the world.
world."
Yep, don't need to know that.
On Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, that kind of stuff is not of interest to me. Like I'm more interested in how my work affects other people than like letting people know who I am. Because it's not about me. And there have been, I've made a couple posts that are a little bit more about me.
Mhm.
I made one post that was like a thirst trap sort of thing.
Mhm.
But it felt like, I
Where
don't know,
can
it
one
was like,
find that?
that was
I'll send you it, Smudgy.
on
It's
Instagram.
Jules' phone wallpaper.
I got it.
but that's probably as much as I'll ever do.
So how do you anticipate, because I think you mentioned creating some sort of community outside of social media? Like, are you considering like a Discord or a Patreon or anything like that?
I have actually created all of those things. I just haven't made them public yet. So
Okay.
Oh,
I created a Discord. I don't again, it's like I have to understand like what to do with it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm new to this
Right.
world. So it's
Yep.
like, what do I do with the Discord? What do I do with the Patreon?
What do I do? I what? Wait, sorry. What do I do?
Yeah,
Like I understand like Instagram, I understand TikTok to a certain degree,
Mhm.
but I haven't utilized. I mean, I use Discord with my friends if we're playing like a video game or something.
Sure.
But like I
Yeah.
haven't utilized it in terms of like being an anonymous figurehead within this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't figured out like what it is that I would like to do. Like if I just
Yeah.
want, if I want to continue to just make separate audios, for subscribers,
Mhm.
because I can create. I only can do 4 a month for Quinn, and if people want
Right.
more, I can create more. But it's like, and what do they want? I can make a safe for work audio every 10 erotic audios on
Yeah.
Quinn.
For Quinn,
Right.
yeah.
I've had
Yes.
people ask me just to like make stuff to like fall asleep to.
Yeah.
Sleep audio.
Like
Random
sleep
stuff.
aids. Yes,
Yeah.
they're so good.
We're talking heavily about our communities that we're in. Okay, so what's the support like within the VA community, within the Quinn community or the audio erotic community for you?
I'm not really part of the community yet. I actually haven't talked to any. Another creator reached out to me and asked me because they had written something and asked me to be part of it. Quinn recently, a month ago, reached out because they have something coming out. It'll be the first time that I will record somebody else's material.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
And
Okay.
so
Wow.
that'll be interesting. I've had several writers reach out to me, and they all have been very, very nice, and a couple have sent me scripts, but it's like I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. I mean, I might at some point, because it's like having to come up with stuff all the time, and it will be fun to like maybe do one every once in a while. But it's like, and I appreciate them reaching out, but for right now, I just kind of make up my own stuff. As far as like the community of like creators, I really haven't engaged too much with other Quinn creators. So yeah.
Well, you're pretty new on the scene, and I'm Smudge. You probably already thought of this, but don't you think he and Orcus would get along so well?
Oh my
Oh my God,
God.
so well. So well.
Like just the way you speak and like your perspectives on life and the way you think, the
Yes.
feminine and masculine energies, like you and Orcus would hit it off.
What was the name?
Orcus Auditory.
Okay, cool.
He's
Yeah.
known for his growls on Quinn.
And for
He's,
being one hell of a dom.
Oh yeah.
Well, that could learn.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
God, that's the sexiest thing any man has ever said.
I know,
Open to learning, right?
There's our audiogram right there for this episode. I'm a man and I'm open to learning. Done.
But yeah, you and Orcus are kindred spirits. I can see
yeah.
it totally.
Definitely can see that.
I'm already picturing them together in my head, but it's nothing
Settle
to do
down.
with learning.
Settle down.
There's her threesome. He's our
Okay.
guest. Be professional. Well, Adam, you're thinking
Come
of,
back.
not this gentleman who.
Come back to earth, Smudge. Pee hole,
Yeah.
pee hole, pee hole. Come on.
Is there a question that we haven't asked you that you would have wanted to have been asked during this chat?
No, I think because I sent like a little thing in about like what we could talk about. I think we covered it. It was really important to me to talk about like when we kind of got into the meat of things.
Yeah.
That stuff was really important. I wanted to cover. But no, I don't think nothing comes to mind.
So what you're saying is we were perfect.
You
That's what I heard.
that you were perfect. There's always room for improvement. But yes,
Well, just with you.
Would you say we were good girls?
I would say you were a very good girl.
Oh, thank you. That was so unprompted.
I'm not blushing or anything right now.
I'm
What do
gonna
you
clip
mean?
out Smudge asking for that. Just be like,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Just
yeah.
oh, the
did it.
magic I can work.
Just did it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so actually, the
Yeah.
one final kind of
Yes.
official question, and you touched upon it, but I'd be curious to hear like just your answer to it. How would you define sexual freedom?
I would say sexual freedom is the ability to not feel shame for having any desire that you have.
Mm,
That is legal. I would put that caveat on it, obviously. To not repress because of things that you were taught.
yeah.
To not repress because of how you think other people would judge you. You know, to me, like the most hypocritical people in the world are the ones who currently have control over the government in the US,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's being pushed through with like this guise of Christianity. You know,
Yeah.
Christianity at heart, going to get into this, but like Christianity at heart is a very beautiful religion.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it has been hijacked by this
Manipulated.
hypocritical, patriarchal, dominantly white male bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I listen to, I mean, of course, obviously I'm from the US. When I listen to Mike Johnson, this fucking puppet, you can just tell when people are repressed. You know?
Yeah.
You can tell something is going on in this dude. And it's
Yep.
scary, this like Christian repression, this dogma. And it doesn't, you know, I'm not knocking Christianity. I just want to make sure people know that like I do not there are beautiful things in all religions, but I think people
Absolutely.
understand. I think
I agree.
your listeners understand. They're smart enough to understand like what is happening right now. And what has happened a lot is this repression of sexuality
Mm-hmm.
as like a sin that you're born into this and you have to fix yourself. And
Yes.
we've sort of allowed it, you know, because we don't talk about this stuff, you know, because we're not in normal places.
Yeah.
You know, we as soon as people start to, and this is like an American thing, just to be uncomfortable talking about sex. Like you go to like France or someplace, they'll talk about it. But that has to do with like, again, it's like, you know, don't show a naked body because it starts with that. It's like, don't show a naked body
Right.
because that's wrong.
Yeah.
We can't look at that. You know, it starts from there and it starts to move throughout all of the ways that we're being sort of not controlled, but like manipulated into believing.
Well, it's
that, like,
coercive, isn't
wrong.
it? It is coercive
Very
control.
coercive, yep.
Religion can be a beautiful thing, and there are thousands of religions, and they're all very beautiful until they start to persecute people
Yeah.
for their minds.
Yeah, exactly. And usually it's because the person who's doing the persecuting are repressing themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're taking it out on the other people because they're jealous and they feel shame, you know. And I will bet you $100 that Mike Johnson is not walking the straight line.
Is that $100 on the exchange rate? Because that's only about £72.
It's true.
So
I bet you $1.
Just
you're
to
right,
clarify,
so.
there is nothing wrong with like I'm saying, you know, not accusing him. I'm just saying he's repressing something, and the thing that he's probably repressing is something that he should and would be beautiful if he were to embrace.
most religions are persecution of women. They are
Yeah.
to stop us from growing, from developing, from experiencing, from learning, from
having power,
developing, from having any type of power whatsoever. So, you know,
got to keep us in our place.
I mean, it's like, where did confession come from? Like confession probably came from just, it's like, it's information. It's like you have to, and again, I'm not knocking religion if you're a Christian or believe in, fully support you. But it's like, come to this place where you can't necessarily prove that you can't prove that we're going to tell you you're going to go to hell. So you have to behave in a right way. And also you have to tell the head person, the priest or whatever, all of your sins. So then the church has all the information on you and knows everything that's going on, and they can control you. You know, that's, you know, there are a lot of people who get a lot out of their church and out of religion and out of confession and all that kind of stuff. But I think at a fundamental level, it's about control and it's about information control.
And that messes with you as you grow up.
Of course,
Absolutely.
because it's, I mean, if you remove yourself from that, you know, like the human experience is about having feelings. The human experience is about trying to figure out what those feelings mean.
Yes.
And where you fit in to your life, you know? And I think when you're in touch with those feelings, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever, you can live in a more honest and true light for yourself, you know? And that usually manifests in being like a better person, like in society.
It takes a lot of undoing and learning, and that's that's the work that a lot of people don't want to do. And so they'll hide under the guise of religion or to make their behavior okay, rather than taking a look at themselves as to why they're thinking and behaving the way they do. And do I need to do something with this? It's like, I don't want to work on myself, so I'm going to make you wrong so I can be right. And
well, and that's why, like, at least for men, I think like they really need strong mentors who can show them that it's okay to do that. Bring it back just a little bit.
Maybe they just need to get Quinn memberships.
Maybe
that's
they
it.
do.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I will say it's been unbelievably refreshing when we speak to creators very strong common thread between the male creators that we talk to is a high level of emotional intelligence,
Yes.
a strong respect for women.
Yep.
Many of them were raised around predominantly women. And that really has been such a theme that I'm like, there is hope. There are a lot of men out there who have a fucking clue, right? About can see beyond the end of their own nose.
This is where we would normally sign off and say goodbye, but Adam contacted us and wanted to return to the Quincast studio and carry on with the conversation. So here's part 2.
We need you back.
Guess who's back? Back again. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
So what you got for us, man? You wanted to update us on some stuff? We're on the edge of our seats.
I just thought it'd be nice to ask how everybody's doing and was your holiday okay?
Oh,
And
thanks.
it's
Let's
been
do that
so
then.
long, so
How was your holidays?
they were good actually. I was I had been down visiting some family during Thanksgiving, so I took I tend to get a little cocoonish during the winter. My birthday is between Christmas and New Year's, and so no one ever decorated my locker because we were all out of school.
Oh my
Aw.
I tend to get like a little cocoon. So I went away, a faraway land, not too far away, just into the mountains.
Far away, Neverland.
And was with some snow and just got away, and it was just nice. It was really lovely to kind of. I hadn't looked at my phone for over a week, so I had no idea what was going on in the news or anything.
A week.
That's
Pretty great.
amazing break.
Wow, that's so.
We should
Were you in
do
a
that.
cabin with a crackling fire and a dog laying in front of it?
I think that's an audio.
Honestly,
I mean, definitely.
yes.
That's a Hallmark movie.
It was there was a crackling fire. There was a dog. There was a cat. I brought my cat as well, which might have been a mistake.
Oh, I love that.
And there was it was a nice house. It was my buddy's place. Which
Nice.
is right on. There's a little waterfall outside and a
Oh,
river, so it was everything you want it to be, and it snowed
Oof.
quite a bit, so it was nice.
well, I'm
sounds
not going to tell you what
picturesque.
my holidays were like because that was shit then compared to that. Jesus.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Happy belated.
You do not
Fellow.
look a day over 42.
That's a safe number.
I thought it was a
I'll take that.
safe-ish number.
Yeah, that's a safe number. I appreciate that.
Did you start getting the sweats and having a panic going, oh, I need my phone?
Well, that's why I actually did just like for the Quinn world, like it had been my goal to do like an aftercare, like it was still kind of sexual because I was mentioning stuff, but intimate sort of thing, not like, Santa banging people or something like that.
Eat my milk and cookies.
Exactly.
Come and sit on my lap.
All right, girls.
A lot of
We
that.
let the men speak.
And so it felt right to do what the last audio I did, which was the aftercare, and that just it felt good to do that. And I did I know we had scheduled this prior, but when I did the aftercare, it occurred to me, and I thought this was important to mention, especially because when we were talking about our other stuff, we were kind of getting into the weeds about just communication and how erotica can help people, not just get them off, but like actually help them. And it occurred to me through doing that and just sort of some other conversations that I was having in my life. When I had thought about aftercare and when it's been talked about, either through Quinn or just through, people in general, it's often almost primarily associated with the female needing aftercare and the male has to give the aftercare.
Yep.
And it's almost like, okay, it's this thing that I have to do, or the dominant partner has to do this for that person. It doesn't get talked about as much that the giving of the aftercare is as much as important for, let's say, me, if I am in a dominant role, to also come back to neutral and to also balance what has just happened. So, like as an example, like if you let's pretend we're talking about audios, but if there's like a very dominant audio and the listener is in a submissive place. If you love that person, like if you're in a relationship and you have this nice dynamic where you can be dominant or submissive, at least for me, putting on that character, being, degrading someone verbally or physically, inflicting pain in some way, you can get off to that and it's super hot. But when you come back, for the other person, obviously, it can be very traumatic and stir up a lot of adrenaline and they need, to be held and talked to. But for the person who's doing that, they get as much out of the aftercare as the other person receiving the aftercare, because it gives them a chance to come back and remind themselves and reconnect with that person and to be intimate in a loving way and to say, like, I'm here for you. And everything we just went through is totally fine. And it was wonderful to go through that. But we've our chemicals have exploded inside us, and now we're sort of coming back to neutral. And the ability to hold someone in a place of comfort and safety regulates both partners, I think, or all three, or whatever you're doing, to the extent where like people can come back to neutral. And I just think it doesn't get talked enough about for men and how much they need aftercare, or to provide the aftercare, you're creating aftercare. You're not just providing, but you're creating aftercare for your partner, in which you, as the male or the dominant partner in that situation, can also be healed and come back to neutral. Or if you have a dynamic where, like, say I was being submissive and my partner was being dominant, the act of giving also heals. Smudge, maybe you can speak to this because you've been open about like how you are in your world. I imagine that it takes a lot to either put yourself in a position of like utter submission or utter dominance, and like that's not how you live your life normally when you're necessarily walking through the grocery store or whatever. It's a very private sort of thing, and that's why sex is beautiful, because we go to these places that are so intimate within ourselves to touch those like very important intimate places, and they can be connected to either traumas or things that might set us off emotionally, and then to come back and remind us that we're safe. For me to say, like, be incredibly, if you're slapping somebody or if you're calling them names or degrading them to a person, especially if you love them, then to come back and be like, we moved through this. It was wonderful, but like, this is who we are as a partner.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that the importance of pre-scene care and post-scene care are two of the most important parts of a dominant and submissive dynamic. The pre-care means that you're creating the environment, where the safe environment where it's going to happen. And then the aftercare, for me, was more about coming back down to some form of normality and resonance and grounding and back to who you are. I definitely wouldn't have interacted with any dom who didn't provide both pre-care and aftercare.
So can I ask you a question? How do you, if it's not a normal partner, let's say it's a new partner, or you're starting to date somebody and you're getting into like something, what kind of communication do you have with them to know that aftercare is coming? And do you ever have to like educate them on how to do it?
If it's somebody that's not quite as experienced in the dominant dynamic, there can be some teachings. However, we're talking months. And
so that whole getting to know each other is would that be encompassed in the pre-care?
Yeah. So, I would never enter into a dominant submissive dynamic with anybody who I haven't known for several months, because you have to be compatible with them. I'm not talking about, I can go to a sex club and I can put myself on a cross or a rack and be dominated. Easy. No problems. Done it. Not a problem. But that doesn't give you that connection. That's not a dynamic. That's a bit of role play for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And role play's completely different to dominant and submissive dynamics. So
is there a difference between aftercare in role play versus what you're talking about with sort of living the experience?
Yeah, I've had aftercare in both. So aftercare in role play just normally consists of giggling, grabbing a cup of coffee, some water, maybe having a shower together, then fucking. Aftercare from a scene, which normally can last for several hours or a couple of days, that requires some intense level aftercare, which is nurturing. But you would only know how to aftercare a partner that you're with in that sort of dynamic if you've got to know them first, which is why it's important to get to know them. They might not want touch afterwards. I don't want to be held afterwards. I don't want touch afterwards. I want to go and have a shower, and I want to lay down in a room on my own and go to sleep for a few hours. And then the aftercare starts for me. But somebody would only know that if they ask me the questions. Mm-hmm. So not everybody wants a cuddle. Not everybody wants to be stroked or held or told what a great job they've done, or,
That's interesting, yeah. Well, thank you for coming to the Adam Craves podcast. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
I genuinely felt like I was being interviewed for like a BDSM podcast.
Well, I feel like you all have much more experience than I do. So, like, maybe not life experience, but Jules doesn't. But
Jules is just a baby.
Jules a vanilla baby.
I've been with the same guy for 19 years.
Yeah, right.
Well, but it's still, I mean, like, I'm sure there's things, not to pry into your relationship, but I'm still sure there's things to explore and things that you can learn.
Well, even speaking of aftercare, I'm kind of, because we actually did in one of our previous episodes, we did a segment on aftercare. And until we did that segment, I've been doing aftercare the same way for 19 years. Never knew there were so many different types in that. Like Smudge said, it can look so different for everybody. And, I used to feel a little bit bad because sometimes, you have a quickie. Hey, got to get to work. High five. That would be, a quick aftercare. And I remember when we started talking about it, I was like, oh my God, is that bad? Like, am I not doing it right? Listening to Quinn audios and you hear the way aftercare is presented a lot of the times. And then when we had that segment on it, it's like, no, it can look so different for so many people. Like Smudge said, Smudge wants, with certain scenarios, wants to go into a room and go to sleep and then have the aftercare start. It's just so different. So that's kind of what I've learned about it, that it just looks so different for everybody.
And asking also, asking like if that's okay. Like, is the high five good? Is the high five okay? And then I text you in 20 minutes and just let you know I love you, just to remind you that, like, here whatever it is. The whole thing is getting to know yourself. And it's like, if you don't know yourself well enough to even know what you need, like, that's a process that you have to go through regardless, to figure it out. Like, if you're open enough to, like, do that self-discovery with yourself. And that's why, like, for me doing, like, the Quinn work or the erotic audios, like, I've learned a tremendous amount about what I need for myself just by making audios and by having fans or listeners, like, say something back to me and being like, oh, I never thought about that. It's an interesting process of learning, which is also why, like, I think sex gets better with age. Because you have a chance to realize what's going on. Because the first, you're fumbling around, what's going on. You don't know what you need. You feel embarrassed. You feel intimidated. You're trying to replicate what you see on videos or whatever. And that's never, it's
doesn't
never
work out
true
well.
to who you are, really.
No.
Yeah. No. I think that's part of the big thing with erotic audio, right? That we've said since the beginning. And what you were saying earlier, Adam, is how much learning is done. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your orientation, doesn't matter anything. The number of people we've spoken to and the things that they've learned about themselves at 20, 40, 50, whatever, as a result of listening to this work is like, wow, first of all, didn't even know that was a thing. Or I kind of liked that. I thought it was weird. I didn't know that other people did too. And so you can learn more about it. So then if, not only can it improve your relationships if you're in one, but also if you do want to go out and play somewhere, you kind of have the language more. We have a guest that's going to be coming on to talk about her experience with, kind of dabbling into alternative lifestyles as a result of finding audio erotica. She probably would have never thought at her age that she would be playing with that kind of stuff. But this is what this work does for you. It just opens up doors, and it's like, oh, okay. Were you a good communicator in the bedroom from a young age then?
Probably not. Like not like I would be as an adult.
Sure.
I don't think I was learning what to do, and I was learning by doing it, and I was learning by, like, looking, and I certainly was like, oh, I want to try that by, like, reading that sort of thing. There were, anal sex, for instance, like, there's a process to it, and that, I have found that, communicating about it is better, and, like, not just jumping into it after some margaritas and fajitas.
That's a very specific example.
Very.
That never happened to me.
My fajitas! Fajitas! That is gonna hurt tomorrow.
Fajitas.
But you learn your lesson, and you learn that it's okay to communicate about that kind of stuff. But that's trial and error. That's trial and error. And I think when you get into the more, like, either dominant or sub or taboo types of stuff, when you're first doing that, that can be really exciting, but it can be really, like, I think there's a lot of things that are happening with that, because it's like, it's psychological, and you're like, okay, do I really want to have sex with my, what does this mean for me? And as an adult, I think it's easier to sort out what's going on. Like, if for someone who's actually maybe been to therapy or open to, like, reading about the sexual psychology of humans, versus, like, someone younger who's just like, fuck me daddy or fuck me mommy or whatever. Like, because you get into it and you're like, so what does this mean for me? Why am I turned on by this? Like, that's interesting to me as well. And you can separate it in the bedroom from, like, reality, but it, where does it lie for people? And, like, how far do you want to take it? And, like, why does it make you feel uncomfortable? Like, there are people in relationships where you might get along really well in some aspects, but like in sexual aspects, it might not be balanced. And, you know, you might bring something up or ask someone to call you something or want to do something, and that person doesn't feel comfortable with it. Yeah. And, you know, to know like either why that person doesn't feel comfortable with it, or just to know like that might not ever change. And, you know, what are you going to do about that? And how are you going to then, you know, without like censoring that part of you, what are you going to do about that? How do you learn about that?
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Do you think if you're with a partner, you can get everything you want from them sexually? I've looked at a partner and said, even if you called me what I need you to call me or say, it's not going to hit. Or they've tried and it hasn't. I think there's the compatibility. What do you think?
I think that it is very rare and beautiful when you find someone that you are compatible with in that way. That it is a gift in a way to find someone like that, and it's very, very special. And it starts with being able to talk about what it is that you're interested in, and share the things that turn you on and the things that you want to try that you might not have done with someone else, and what they're interested in and the things that they've wanted to try, and then to be able to do it. But I have been in situations where I might have done that with someone, but it doesn't hit me the same as with another person that it just fires with. Yeah. And the truth is, like, you can almost tell sometimes when somebody's just like phoning it in, or it's like it's not their kink, but they're doing it for you because they might like you, or they don't want to be embarrassed or whatever. But to me, like, that is the subconscious sort of thing that you're like, well, I know you're doing it, and it might turn me on, or I know I'm doing it for you and it might turn you on, but like it's not it, you know. I think that there are relationships that will never have that between the two partners. Not to say like you can't still have sex and make love or whatever, but like you might not get that thing that you're looking for. But there are, on rare occasions, two people who just vibe perfectly. And it's a really, really special thing. And you know when it's there. Yes. You know when it's there, because it's just like you don't even have to say it. Like, you can just look at that person and you can just get that vibe, because you know that they are on the same level as you. It's not like they're giving it to you because they want to please you. It's because they're getting as much out of it as you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
And that's a special sort of thing. And
I think that's the other thing that's happening with like the uprising of audio erotic, is that a lot of people in established relationships are figuring out how incompatible they might be with their partner in that way. Like, they're learning about things that they like, things that they want to try. They're speaking to their partner, and the partner's like, not really into it. And then there's the struggle of like, well, what do I do now? Do I just suppress this part of me and just deny it, or do, you know? I think there's a lot of conversations happening in relationships, at least in the communities we're in, where they're trying to figure out how to navigate that.
Yeah. And not just relationships, but probably in therapy rooms too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I think a lot of these communities have therapy rooms, you know.
Totally.
It's true.
I think it's really powerful. And also what I have found is like it extends beyond the bedroom. Like, almost always when there's someone that I really connect with in a sexual way, we also we might share the same sense of humor, for instance, or we might, we might communicate just better.
What audio would you like to do next? If you could do anything.
Well, I can do any audio next. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's the beauty.
I'm not being dictated. The problem is that it's so open. I'm trying to figure out like where I want to go. Yeah, I haven't figured out exactly. I have like a list of things that I'm looking to do. There are definitely some like part 2s and part 3s that I want to do. I have been telling my like the people who follow me on social that I have a Patreon coming, so that's something I'm working on. So I'm getting that up, like hopefully within the next week or so.
Nice.
Wow.
On that Patreon, will there be more photos like the ones you've recently posted?
My goodness, man.
For fuck's sake, man.
I have a friend that is a very good photographer, and they were like, hey, let me, because I'm a photographer as well, and they were like, let me take some pictures of you like this. Like, that's good lighting. They were hanging out, and I was showing them my booth, and they were like, let me take some pictures. So I took some, and they're like, you should post this on, because there's very few people who know what I do.
Oh, right.
To answer your question, yeah, I think I will.
What else are you
Great
going to
idea.
offer?
I know.
We just need a budget now.
I need to figure out all that. I haven't done the market research to know like what I should be charging.
Okay.
I do think that there will be like safe for work stuff, like maybe some like go to sleep kind of stuff because I can just do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
As far as the next audio, I don't know. Maybe it'll be that'd be interesting if it was about podcasters.
And done.
Anyway,
Sold.
Canon.
Cha-ching.
I
Canon, you have
mean,
to now. I mean,
not that you probably listened, although you probably should have, but our 1 year anniversary episode when we had creators sending questions
Yeah.
for us, your pal Orcus, the fucker,
you know what he did?
he asked each of us to make the sounds of a fake orgasm, and whichever one was best, he'd put in an audio.
nice.
Yeah, nice. So, he better be putting all three in. It better be like an Orcus orgy. Because for fuck's sake, we all did it.
I was gonna say you can't. That would be not cool to be like this one's the best because isn't every orgasm the best like for yourself?
Good man, Adam. Good man.
Bravo.
But also, can we just also say, when normal people come, it's very much not Meg Ryan. I mean, the premise is there, and
That's what he said, yeah.
when we all did it, but it's not like, I'm not that dainty.
And the same thing, I have people who believe that every time I do it in my booth, I'm actually doing it, and to believe that is one thing, and I don't want to take that away. And I found out recently there's no actual tooth fairy, but
what? Stop ruining my whole life.
The nature of the audio is that you want to hear it. So like in real life, if I were to keep a sound in and actually have an orgasm, I'm in myself. I'm in my head, right? I'm enjoying what's going on in here. I'm not thinking about like
what sound you're
verbalizing
making.
this. And if I'm making a sound, it's because I'm just making a sound. I'm not like whatever I'm doing.
Oh my God, that was fucking Santa.
That's Santa. Yeah.
Right, the Santa
Santa
theme.
orgasm.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a trend at the moment with people just making sounds, just moaning audios.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
oh sweet
Stop.
Lord.
So it's just moaning. It's just.
Yes.
Moaning.
Adam,
I mean, it's
Adam.
like
that's it.
Is that good stuff? Is that good? Is that what you want?
Very good.
Yes.
All right. That makes it easier for me to not have to think of a script.
It's quite a big.
I mean,
it's
if you
going
look
viral.
at, it's just something that's kind of going right now. But there's been a couple creators and the plays are astronomical.
Really?
And it's just moaning and breathing.
I mean,
One is
the
like
breathing is important.
yes.
one is like 11 or 12 minutes. The other one's like 13 minutes. The plays.
I think I know what my next audio is going to be.
Yeah,
But
You're welcome.
You probably need to just show us, like practice just a little bit.
Smut.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Sold.
Done.
All right, I'm going to go put my head in the toilet right now because
I got to go sort myself out.
I know.
I'm going to
have a masturbate.
God.
That was amazing, and yes.
Yep. So that's yep.
I mean, I'm sitting on the fence.
You love to sit on the fence.
I'm going to have to have a few more. I'm going to have a few more examples. Adam.
For science.
Practice makes perfect, and we have a voice note option on our Quincast website.
Oh, that's great. Quincast.com. Go to leave us a voicemail.
It's no voice note. See if you can moan any better than Adam.
Oh my God, imagine.
So what are you most excited about in 2026 in your erotic audio career?
I'm excited about engaging more with my fans and growing the Adam Craves brand.
Nice.
That's really what it is. Making some audios and having fun, and then realizing that there is a world, a universe out there.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky to have been welcomed into it, and to continue to engage and educate myself and educate my fans and learn and see how far I can take it. I would like to do a couple like what's it called when two people are
Collaborate?
not fucking, but yes,
Collaborations.
Spread the ball.
Yeah, I would like to do I have an idea for a collaboration, maybe with another like a female.
I am free.
Smudge.
We're having auditions next week, so you can send it. We'll call you. Don't call us.
Yeah.
I feel slapped.
Yeah, something people have said like, oh, you should try to do collaborations, and I need to figure out what that means for me, and like how that works into my art, and what I can do. But I think that would be interesting to explore.
Mm-hmm. And have you come up with a name for your fan base yet?
Well, I thought they were the Cravers, but then somebody said Craves Babes, or I don't know. They're just. I think my fan base needs to come up with a name for the fan base.
Yes.
I'm not in charge of that. That's not my thing.
I think Cravers is good.
Cravelings or
Cravelings. That's what I was thinking.
Adams, Eves, and Steves covers both. What? Eves and Steves.
Can you just go with Cravers, please? It's good. It's clean.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
I think that sort of thing is something that organically happens with
yes, and the listeners.
Oh,
yeah.
With listeners.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. We can put a little start that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
God,
I love that.
What, just see what people say. Like, what do you think his fan base should be called? And then we can inform you of what has been decided.
That sounds great. I'm here for it.
We're very excited to see what happens in your potential
I'm so excited.
Patreon. I'm very excited about your Patreon because having seen the thirst traps and knowing that you want to dip into the SFW stuff as well, which is big at the moment. Nice sleep aids or
and you can sing.
And you can breathe.
Fucking hell.
And you can
moan.
Like and you can moan. Yep.
I'm a human. Yeah. I can moan, I can breathe, I can sing.
It's the breathy bits.
Just tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
breathy bit.
All right, I gotta go get myself sorted. Or whatever. You said. I was gonna say get myself off.
After you leave, we'll have a group sorting. You said that. What?
Again? I thought we only did that twice.
We did that just before Adam came on.
Oh.
Is there anything more you would like to let us know about Adam Craves in 2026?
Any secrets you'd like to spill? Any teases you'd like to give? Come
on. Any teases? Any secret? I feel like the secrets will come as they come. I feel like maybe there are some. Maybe maybe there aren't. I'm just pretending there are. I think that we definitely have some part 2s and part 3s to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so there will be some parts 2s and 3s. The Adamverse that I started with will probably have some additions to it. The confession.
Yes.
I mean, it's not one of my personal favourites or anything.
Kneel. Just kneel.
What's interesting about it is because I improv everything, it
still
starts
can't believe
out
that.
as it starts out as an idea, and I'll look up a couple words that I need to use, but I'm always surprised at what it becomes, and so it's as fun for me to create as it is for someone to listen to.
That's
so
awesome.
you like that rapper, that guy who just gets given 3 words randomly, and then he comes up with this rap. So we could give you 3 words randomly, you could just come up with an audio. Is that what you're saying?
I could do that actually, and I might do that because I mean, I can do 4 a month, times 12, so that's what 48. So like I have 48 audios to come up with for Quinn this year. Well, I've done 1 already, so 47. Okay. So yeah, I have 3 ideas right now.
There you go. You put that out to your fan base.
43.
Give me some words. I will create the audio around.
Give me some tags.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I did ask them at one point, like, give me some ideas, and they gave me some great ideas. And some of them are interesting. But
I can only imagine.
Right.
There's some that I think can definitely work, and I'm gonna like get into. And I went through to see like what tags did really well. And like which ones didn't, and I have people who are like in the world who are like, you need to really do this more, or you need to do this more.
Nice.
And I'm like, it's very helpful, and I take opinions and I put them in there. Part of me is like, I'll do what I want to do, but also like,
tell me.
Yeah, I'm the fucking dom, bitch.
Right, exactly. Which was one of the words that people really want to hear.
Bitch.
But it's also like it's a business, and it's it's art / business, and so we have to figure out like what works for the listener and what works for the algorithm, and grow from there.
Yeah.
So you're going to do 46 other ones and a moaning one, correct?
45 moaning, and then one will have words.
I love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Or maybe I'll just have just the moaning on my Patreon. Who knows? Maybe I'll have one moaning and I'll have more of them on the Patreon. So
Thanks, Adam, for coming on and chatting with us.
happy to be here. Yeah.
Oh my God, can't wait to. I'm excited for your Patreon, so don't keep us waiting too long. Don't edge us on the fucking Patreon. Get it going.
I'm hoping to have it up by
End of January, maybe.
before the end of January.
Under promise, love to over deliver.
I'm hoping to have it by the end of January.
It sounds
There we
great.
go.
Love it.
Such a good
Are you gonna
date.
do like tease it though? Are you gonna like do like social media stuff like
yeah.
something's coming? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, something's coming, don't know when, but it's soon. Catch the moon, one hand. I'm trying to do musical theater. Yes, I will definitely be teasing it. I would definitely be teasing it in the only way that Adam Craves can tease.
Oh my God. Patreon, musical, audio. Oh my God.
Oh, doorknobs and hands. Okay, yep.
Doorknobs and hands, yeah.
Hands
the
on belt
doorknobs.
buckle, please.
Oh,
Good
right there.
God. Don't do that. Not
Maybe like half a zipper down.
Not
Oh,
during a
it would
working day.
explode.
Not during a working day.
No, the
Do it
jingle
in
of the belt. A friend of ours calls that. A friend of ours calls that the dinner bell.
Dinner bell.
She's like, oh, I hear someone's dinner bell. That's his belt.
Yeah, part of that's fun. Like that kind of stuff is fun for me. Like to do that kind of creativity and like because the pictures I'd taken like I have a nice camera and we took nice pictures and then I edit that stuff to make it look nice and all that kind of stuff. So that is fun for me.
Are the negatives floating around anywhere?
Negatives.
You Gen
there aren't any negatives anymore, but there were many shots taken, and maybe there will be more when when I decide there will be more.
That's good stuff on Patreon, like behind the scenes and bloopers. Big on Patreon.
Oh.
Behind the scenes,
Lots of
bloopers.
lots of bloopers going on too. So that's
I love that.
Okay, I can't wait. I will sort my budget now. Oh my gosh, thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
I apologize for where this has deteriorated because of Smudge.
It's 10:30 at night.
But it's 10:30
right?
at night.
This is my feral time. This is my
wow.
feral period.
Thank you for staying up. And when I listen to a podcast, I listen to Quinncast.
Not even prompted. Not even prompted. Adam is king.
Good boy. That's good. Excellent. Thanks, man.
I appreciate y'all coming back and doing this. This is great.
You come back and chat with us anytime, Adam.
Please, anytime.
Yeah, y'all come back now. You hear?
Yeah,
That was
y'all.
just the worst American accent.
That was
ever,
terrible.
wasn't
Terrible.
it? It's been a pleasure, Adam, as always.
Yes.
And yeah.
Come back anytime. So there was Adam Craves.
Wow.
Oh, he was just so like, I don't know what to expect. We didn't know what to expect because we didn't really know much about him. But that guy, he's like so in touch with women right now in the world and the world itself. Oh my God. I mean, just without his audios alone, that was a fucking proper turn on.
Yeah.
So amazing. And I love how he went also from talking about like what women kind of get out of this space and also talking about how he wants men to be more in touch with their emotions and things like that. I loved hearing that perspective from him as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just another one. After the conversation, I'm like, I have hope for the future.
Yes!
Because there really are men out there who are so awake.
Yeah.
What a great way to say it.
And
honest.
And honest and just willing to share and speak openly and be vulnerable. Because like we said, we started this going, we don't know much about this guy at all. And now it's like, shit.
I feel like I genuinely do feel like I know him so much more now.
Yep.
Another one in the bag, ladies. Another one in the bag.
Another one in the bag. So thank you so much, Adam, for coming to join us here in Quinncast Studios. It was so fun. So good to talk with you. Cliticins, you know the deal. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Your feedback really matters to us. So you can email us at quinncastpodcast@gmail.com, or you can comment on Spotify, rate us, share with your friends, etc. We would love to hear any topic ideas you have or any other feedback you'd like to give us. So we'll be back soon with another fantastic episode, if we do say so ourselves. But for now, this has been Kaza. Your voice matters.
This has been Jules. Go put those lips to good use.
And this has been Smudge. Keep wanking.